Where's my baby?
I'm Dana Denha.
And I am Melissa Bondi, and this is Adventures in Parenthood, where we take a ride on the roller coaster that we call parenting.
As a parent, part of our job is to teach our kids life skills. I mean, they need to know how to cook, clean, and be a grown-up, a grown-up that knows how to do things. Melissa, when you are, Bryn's getting older. And
Hmm
I notice that I keep saying things to Kiki, like, you're getting older now. You need to know how to do this.
hmm
You need to know how to do that. Do you find yourself doing this with certain things that you're like, everybody just needs to know how to do these things?
Yeah, in fact, I said something last night along the lines of, come on, you're almost 9. You should be able to do that. I said that out
What was it?
loud. It was like getting out of the shower, putting on the towel, drying off, completely. It was,
Yeah.
and I'm still helping, with that aspect of it. I want to soak it up as long as I can, but at some point I'm like, all right, at some point you need to be able to do this on your own. And I
Well, yeah,
can't
and
do
it's
it for
really just like, those
forever.
beginning steps. You're like, okay, wash your own hair, wash your body. I'm going to double check you. Now you need to
Correct.
start drying your hair. You need to start brushing your
Right.
hair.
Right. All of those things, right? They need to start at some point. We have to let go and say, do it. You
Yeah.
can, you're able to. And that goes along with some of the skills that I was thinking about too, Dana, was the ones that we used to do or learn in, school, and which is bothersome now because they don't with the sewing and the cooking and wood baking, like those, not that we do that but now, but we did that back then. And that's bothersome to know that home economics is not in the schools right now, or a class that at least our girls are going to take anytime
Do
soon.
you know what's interesting? And I swear this is even like, I have a sister that's like 5 to 6 years younger than me. And I knew how to like make dinner, grilled cheese, like lunch, like stuff like that. And my mom would be like, at some point, she'd be like, oh, make dinner today. Like, she'd be like, you make dinner today. And it would be like something not super hard, but like she would have me do it. And then I noticed, like, when my sister was that age, she
Mhm.
didn't know how to do any of that stuff yet. And I swear she didn't have home economics anymore. They got rid of it between the time
Pretty.
that I was in junior high because we didn't have
Okay.
it in high school. I only had it in junior high.
Junior high. Yes, junior high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Same.
swear they didn't have it anymore by the time she was in junior high. They had already started getting rid of those like life skill sort of. But like the one thing that I always talk about because I hate like when kids don't know how to clean. And like
Oh,
this is like the
yeah.
one thing I keep trying to instill in my daughter. Like you go to someone's house and you don't like it when it's dirty. So you don't want to have a house that's dirty yourself.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
like you need to learn how to clean because one day, hopefully, I mean that's the goal that your kids will leave your home and have a home of
hmm
their own.
hmm
And you want to be proud of the home that they live in. Like you want to
Right.
walk into their house and be like, their house is beautiful. They know how to take care of their home. They know how to cook a meal. They know how to sew a button or whatever it might be.
I
And
know.
like our next guest is actually teaching kids life skills that they need to know. Parenting is one of the toughest jobs a person can have. The task of molding tomorrow's generation into well-rounded, competent adults can feel daunting at times. But there is an organization here to help young people learn skills and trades that'll make for a more independent adults. Joining me is Angela O'Rourke, director of My Impact. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how this organization came about?
Sure. My name is Angela, and I'm the director of My Impact. My Impact was created by a couple that lives in Southeast Michigan who was hoping to use some of their wealth to really change and motivate youth and children in the area to learn some traditional and hands-on skills that sometimes are either not provided in school, or maybe their families don't have the money to buy all the items and the things that they would need to do either that project or program. And so my impact was born from the idea that kids need to learn some of these skills, and we should try to preserve them, preserve the skills, and have more people know them. And just out of their own wish, the couple that founded the organizations wish and want to kind of see that throughout Michigan.
Yeah, I was doing a little research about the organization, and I thought it's so interesting to be teaching young people these life skills because when I was in junior high, there was a thing called home economics where you did learn some life skills.
I
And I
was
don't think
just
they
gonna
do
say
that
that.
anymore. They don't do that anymore. And I think that it's like not the greatest thing to take something like that away from kids in schools because I do think it teaches you things that you might not think you need to be taught, but you do. Like I always say to my daughter, like, you have to help me clean the house because I don't want you to be dirty when you're older. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like you need
So
to learn these skills.
Dana, I think another skill, and Angela, you can tell me, I mean, is it something just as far as doing the laundry, like learning how to do laundry or load a dishwasher properly? I mean, those sound so like common sense, but I feel like you have to learn it and start somewhere, right? But I definitely agree with you, Dana, on the home economics. Yeah, I don't know, Angela, those some of the things that are taught.
Yeah, well, I also had home ec, wood shop, a sewing class in high school. I took almost
Mhm.
3 years of sewing at the high school I attended. So I think it's true that those programs have just been cut, and it's unfortunate. And I do think that it affects children's ability to enter, or youth's ability to enter just the world and take care of some items by themselves. We shouldn't be resorting to the idea that if a button falls off your shirt that you have to throw it away, right?
Mhm.
We should
Right.
be able to sew a button back on, or we should know how to wash dishes. I honestly, I joke. So my husband is a bonus parent, and he entered my children's life when they were adolescents. So he, doesn't have children of his own biologically. But we joke around all the time that you literally have to teach children everything.
Mhm.
Even 17-year-old children, you have to teach them just some basic things that you're like, wow, how did I miss not explaining to my child what a stock was at any point in life, or how to use a bank account? And so those are the
Right.
things I'm doing with my children right now. But of course, there are easy projects and programs for younger children too at 10, 11, 12. Our programs range from ages of 10, the age of 10 to 24. So the board has designated a 10-year-old to a 24-year-old youth for the purposes of our programs. And then the programs are created kind of targeted to all those different age groups. So we might have something that's 10 to 14, 14 to 19, 19 to 24, because even a 24-year-old can use that extra boost in some of the life skills that maybe they didn't get an opportunity to learn for whatever reason during their, high school or even elementary school time.
Or even like you're mentioning 24-year-olds, even college. So like
Mhm.
there's this situation where I think about like the time I was in college and they teach you how to do your job somewhat, like they're teaching you skills so that you can get into your job. But then there's things like no one's teaching you how to write a resume, but you have to have a resume to apply for a job. So then it's like that should also be like a skill set that like you should be learning in college. You're paying for a college degree. So like it's just things that you don't realize until you're like at a certain age and you have to like take that next step into being an independent adult. And you're like, well, I don't even know how to do this. So now I got to figure out how to do this by myself, which
or or risk feeling a little bit like silly, or I don't, or
Right.
like you don't know what you don't know, right, as a young
Mhm,
person. So I think that sometimes youth can feel a little silly saying things like, I don't know how to wash dishes by hand, right?
mhm.
Because maybe it seems to them like everybody else knows. And so some of our projects, most of our projects are around, what we've kind of deemed as traditional skills, although that is is a term that maybe is used in a lot of different ways right now. It wasn't really intended to be like a politically correct or unpolitically correct term when we created this idea of keeping traditional skills alive within the organization. But it's just meant to teach children things that they just wouldn't have an opportunity maybe to know because of either their schooling, their life, their economic status. We did a huge program this past spring where we distributed basically 52 live bee kits all over the state of Michigan. legitimately from Monroe, like the bottom of Michigan, all the way up to Ironwood, Michigan, in the point of
Oh
the
my gosh. Very
and
cool.
it was a huge undertaking, and especially for one of our bigger, I wouldn't say first program, it was not our first program, but one of our bigger programs, and distributing a live a live insect was it was challenging, but the youth who applied for the program were so excited to get this opportunity.
Oh my
Most
God.
of them weren't able to, either because of their socioeconomic status, or just hadn't had the opportunity to learn beekeeping. And we had a lot of applicants. We had to select through our applicant pool, and they're being really successful. And it's something that most of these students or participants didn't know. Most of them knew nothing. Some of them, their families knew something about beekeeping, but many of them, they were picking up a box full of 10,000 bees in their hands for the first time. And it was really special. And a little bit anxious too, right? I could see their faces as they were picking up these big boxes of bees from us. They were like, oh, wow, what have I done? Right. And now we're getting pictures and videos of them in their full bee suits, taking care of their bees, treating them for little illnesses that bees get, called mites and different things, and then harvesting honey and like sharing it with their community, sharing it with their family. So it's just really neat. And it's something that I don't think that those participants would have an opportunity to do without my impact and without the funds that are available to do these programs.
Yeah,
So
well, you also think about like technology too. Like this is a thing that I think about a lot. Like my daughter lives in a time where she's growing up where technology and like food service and stuff too, like getting everything delivered. So much stuff can be done for you now that you're like, well, why do I need to do it? I can get it delivered, or I can have
Yes.
Alexa tell me, or whatever it might be. But it's like this idea that like we even as like a 40 something year old don't have skills that like our grandparents had because they had to do certain things that we didn't have to do. So then you worry about kids like not having just like certain life skills. Like if something were to happen, just forbid, like you don't want it to happen, but if something were to happen and then your kid doesn't know how to hand wash a dish, they're like, I don't know,
mhm.
I only know how to use a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Yes. If they know how to use the dishwasher.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, not
I
everyone
might claim
has
that kids
has
don't know how to
one.
use the dishwasher.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think there's kind of a movement right now to kind of turn backwards towards some of the skills that maybe our grandparents used, like making your own bread, having a couple of chickens so that you can have your own eggs.
Mhm.
I know we all follow things on TikTok and Reels and Instagram, and I know mine is always, I don't know if it's because of what I do or what I'm looking at on the internet, but mine's always flooded with people canning tomatoes and
Mm.
baking real bread. And why do people care about sourdough all of a sudden, right? And so, but sourdough bread is something that has been around for generations, and
Right.
it's kind of making a comeback. I think canning is making a comeback. Baking some things on your own are making a comeback. And so it is neat to be able to provide those opportunities to just children or young adults who are like, oh, wow, my grandma made noodles, or my grandma had two chickens in her backyard, or my grandma knew how to grow flowers. I mean, we don't even have to talk about food production. Some
Right.
of our programs are not food based, right? They're things like learning woodworking or learning how to sew. Those things are things that grandma knew how to do, but there's no reason why, grandchild can't.
Right. Do you have, would you say there's more popular um, programs than others, like something that would say sell out or fill up as opposed to others, like or one of the
Yeah,
more popular?
yeah. So we've now, we're just going to open up our final 2024 program. It's going to be launched on September 1st, and we'll take applications till about the middle of September. So we will at that point have done 5 different programs. And the goal of the organization is to do 4 or 5 a year. It kind of
Hmm.
depends on the funding and what the board chooses. So the board has a meeting and chooses what kind of topics they want to cover for that year. So this year they did a Kidpreneur grant, and we selected 2 youth one who is 11 and one who is just turned 18. And basically, they're funding a business idea that these two people have had. One had a garden, a community garden. One had ice cream truck that he runs. So we were able to provide them with just about $50,000 in funding to help boost up their businesses, which was really neat. And then, so that we had many applications for. We also launched a sewing program, and we had less applications for that. And we kind of couldn't figure out why, right? We did our B program, tons of applications for that, many, many more. We even expanded the program. We were planning on only having about 30 participants, and we expanded it to 50. And so just to be able to impact more youth, we were like, okay, we have the funding, we can expand this program. It was just a lot more administrative, obviously, to get the bees, 50 kits of bees everywhere. And then we've done a book club for entrepreneurial focused older youth. That's been a smaller group. So we kind of can't tell right now. I think we're a little too early in our process of running our programs to determine like, why do we have one program that really takes off where we have 100 applications for 30 slots in 2 days? And why do we have other programs where we have 300 sewing kits that we can provide and we've only had a smaller pool interested in those? So it's something that we're working on in terms of marketing, how we're getting the information out there, who's applying. We're hoping to just kind of fine tune that as our programs go on.
Well, Angela, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more on My Impact. We're back with Angela O'Rourke with My Impact, and we were talking about some of the programs that they have to teach kids life skills. You know, you mentioned a lot of stuff where you're like using your hands and creating, and I think personally, as someone that likes to create, there's just something so satisfactory about making something on your own with your hands, and then when it's done, and you feel like so good about yourself. And I notice it, like I know it happens for me, but I see it with my daughter too. Like she'll like make something and then she'll like, isn't that really cool? Like how cool is that? And she'll talk about it a lot. And I'm sure this is like kind of what the effect that my impact is having on these kids that are part of these programs.
I think that is absolutely spot on. The just the joy of the two youth that we picked for the entrepreneur program, which we called Kidpreneurs, they were shocked, and it was so special. We did a little interview on Zoom, kind of like we are now. The board had reviewed all of these different applications. We selected the two that the board thought was just great ideas and just spirited youth that we thought could really make a difference. And yeah, it was so special. They both said, like, they were shocked, right? That somebody would choose them, that somebody would believe in them to do something so important. And so those were really special moments and things that we just want to keep building as the foundation grows. And we did just celebrate our first birthday. So our first birthday was in July. So as the program grows and as we get more followers on social media and just in all the different ways out in the community, we can't wait to see how other youth are excited. They're excited. The beekeepers are excited. The people in the book club excited. And so it's fun to share that sort of excitement. It makes going to work and working fun and just really rewarding. So I think the founders feel the same way, that it's just really rewarding to them to see children be excited about something that they know nothing about, or just something that's new for them.
So, Angela, do you have the opportunity, or is there the opportunity for, if I had an idea, I'm just the public and I have an idea for a program that could be offered through my impact, is that an option? Like, where do you get these ideas from?
Yeah, we have a pretty extensive master list that the
Mm.
board and the founders kind of created when we were going through the beginning process of starting the organization. But we do have a spot on our website it's a pretty big, block within our website that says if you have an idea or something you'd like to share with us,
Mhm.
please do so. Because absolutely, if somebody wanted to say, hey, this seems really cool. Whatever the latest popular kind of hobby to jump
Yeah.
onto for teens or young adults, we would absolutely look at that. We would absolutely use it in our list. And each year the board does select what they think they would like to see. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the coming year. I think
Yeah.
that we'll have some selections that are going to be really fun. I don't want to spoil too much, but I think that we're going to end up distributing chicken coops with
Oh my
chicks
gosh.
this
What,
year.
so
Yeah.
when will you make the announcement? When will people know the programs that are coming for the next year?
Yeah, most of that planning is done in October for our year to start in January. And
Okay.
so everything on our website, we do put which programs are coming. So it'll say up and coming
Mhm.
or coming soon. And then there are other programs that are open, right? So we do keep them open until they're full and then just keep opening one program about every quarter. So every few months, we open a new program.
Are there eligibility requirements? And I know you have to apply. Do you have to apply for each program?
Yes, you apply for each program. Because we're a foundation, we do have special rules that we have to follow through the IRS and for nonprofits. So each applicant or participant has to apply and then has to do some follow up with us once they're in the program. It's all pretty easy. We do it mostly electronically, and people are happy to just basically respond back to us, letting us know how things are going. We also take applicants from different demographics and different areas depending on the program. It's a little bit complex, but let's say for the bees, the participants had to live in an area that was zoned to have bees. Clearly, not every not
Oh,
every youth in Michigan lives in a place where they can have a beehive full of 10,000 bees. So that was part of that application, right? Is that you were
right.
zoned agricultural or zoned on a big enough piece of property to have bees. And they had to be able to provide that information to us. So yes, there are some demographic and other
Mhm.
kind of requirements, but that's why each year we pick several different programs that can apply to all different youth. One of the programs that I think might be selected for next year will be an urban program for
Hmm.
urban, more like container gardening. And so those youth will need to live in one of the urban areas of Michigan.
Is there a cost to these programs for the kids?
Absolutely no cost to the kids. Just willingness to agree to some of the basic terms that we have in terms of their participation, and then their willingness to just follow up with our reporting requirements. So absolutely no cost.
That's awesome. One of the things I've noticed on the website is that you talk about sustainability, and that seems like an important goal to have, especially in today's day and age where we worry so much about like our future planet for our kids and their kids and on and on. So I think like reading that, I was like, great. I'm happy that you guys are doing these things, but you're also thinking about the earth.
Yeah. Sustainability is important. We've been trying with each of our projects to either make sure that they have sustainable products that we're providing. So if we can pick wood over plastic in one of our kits, we do. Our
Right.
sewing kits have wood sewing boxes, not plastic. So it's things that are as simple as that. And then
Right.
also the idea that these projects and the different programs can build. So if we teach one child or one family how to beekeep, they can then affect their environment, their community by having bees. Clearly, we all understand how important that is. But also, then if they're going to their farmer's market and they're selling that honey, that's a local product right? We're not shipping honey from who knows where. They're providing that to their community. And so that is something that is a main goal of the foundation, is to have our projects be almost multi-layered.
Yeah.
We're always thinking about how do we make this multi-layered to just get bang for our buck, get the most learning and the best possible outcome for the participants and their community.
Do you need funding, volunteers, anything along those lines?
At this point, because it's a private foundation, it is funded privately by the two founders who, like I said, are using a part of their wealth to just impact their community. And so the foundation doesn't receive or take donations at this time. But we do look for partnerships in different ways. And we have been working with some different groups where potentially they'll say, hey, I have a kids program and we'd like a bunch of your sewing kits for our kids. Great, have them apply. We're happy for you to take our sewing kits and do it at your camp or your school or wherever you're going to use them, just so long as they can apply through our normal process. So we're happy to make community partnerships like that and to, build community outside of more like the donation type of stance. And then right now, our programs are manageable within our board and our two employees for the foundation. But in the future, yeah, there may be opportunities for people to donate time, help us. Really, we want people to just know who My Impact is and then share that information to people that might be interested in the programs. That's what we're looking for the most at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very new organization. Like you said, you just had your 1 year anniversary. So you're really just getting off the ground at this point. We're almost out of time. We got about a minute left. Why don't you tell people, who have those kids 10 to 24, why they should take part in My Impact?
Yeah, absolutely. So My Impact wants to be able to provide these different programs and opportunities. Like the world is all about experiences and opportunities right now, right? Everybody's looking towards an experience for a birthday present or an experience for a holiday gift instead of more toys, more things. And so, My Impact kind of falls into that same category. We're looking for youth who are excited to learn something new, who want to do hard things. Some of these things are hard. Taking care of chickens, taking care of bees, they're challenging, who are up for that challenge and who want to both be able to better serve, I don't know, serve or contribute to their families and their communities. And so those are the kind of students and participants we're looking for. And those are the kind of families and participants that we want to see come try out beekeeping, come try out a new business idea, come join the book club and all of the future programs that we'll have each year.
Thank you so much. It sounds like such a great organization. I'm going to be applying in 2 years when my daughter's old enough. I can already tell you that.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you have an idea for a parenting show topic or guest, talk to us at ctn@a2gov.org.
For more on our programming and services, visit a2gov.org/CTN and visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to watch a full lineup, and remember to like and subscribe and to share. And thank you for joining us on this adventure in parenthood.